What's up, y'all? It's J Ray Don't Play, and today I have this podcast that I haven't used in a while. The reason is, just things happen. Get so focused into the day to day, and I haven't really been making time for it. It hasn't been my priority. Disregard that. I felt prompted to come up here and share some update, but also what the intention is it's on a podcast about alone. And today I gave myself 15 minutes to just sit down and journal, also like talk through it with others about this notion of just being alone. And for this notion alone, how to come into prompt, it was just like I was just hanging out and catching up in this really nice, intimate, sexy, I guess like top of the line bar that nationally recognized high quality bar in the nation. So like with that, I was just so excited to be there and just having a wholesome catch up and discussion. This notion of alone came up, and the question was posed to me like, do you ever feel alone? And it hit me, and I was like, do I ever feel alone? And I giggle because I'm like, through my day, through my even time of just travel, it be in my intention to find time to be alone. Like, even in therapy, I found myself having this question from my therapist. Like, did you set some time aside for yourself today? Did you set some time to be doing nothing? And then I remembered answering my therapist, and I was just like, yeah, for me, being in my time and space swimming, that is my sense of relaxation and letting out some frustration or just my feelings of anxiety for the next day, etc., etc. I mean, it's a workout too, and I guess it's therapy. However, she stopped me with the pause and was just like, yeah, but besides that, you went swimming. Did you set some time to just do nothing? And I paused and I was like, wow, this hit me when she mentioned that. I was like, I don't know what you mean. Like, what does it mean to do nothing? And it took me this like time when she posed this prompt to me, and then now I set aside time to just really do nothing, where I just sit back and I was like, fuck that, I ain't doing nothing today. I'm gonna just sit here, watch people watch, or just like be in my zen time. And when I say this notion of being alone, it even brings me back to this internship of working on the outdoors, where we didn't even have a phone like this whole week or whatever. It was just journaling. It was just being out. And you would be in a squad, but even when we would be us in our squad, we would set aside maybe, I think it was like 30 minutes or even an hour to be by ourselves. We would like have a journal and walk a couple of spaces away, but without visualization of our own group mates. This was like in the Joshua Tree, or I believe it was in somewhere Yosemite. And then at a specific time, because we all had watches, that's why I like recently bought this G-Shock. I'm so happy about. Such a great purchase. Like, mine lasted for years. I didn't ever change the battery. 2009. I still had it. But regardless, I upgraded. And retying it back is like, we set that time and we made it a set location in our map that we used that was right in front of our face, not digital, because we didn't even have our phones. We left it. And after that week, like, we got our phone and we're like, I remember just being surprised to seeing my face in the mirror and like, yo, like, not even seeing my face for a whole week or whatever. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about just like our look to all this like surface level shit. It's like, just being me is nice to be in the space after just hiking for so long and trekking the whole day to get to a new location and packed near the water, you know, even cooking. To have this time alone, zen, journal, to be thankful of being in the moment and present. Just think about the highlights or even things that you could have changed that day, what made you laugh, or something that pissed you off. And I remember journaling that. That was peace. And then, you know, fast forward a few times, like I tell you, like, this is where I had therapy, and I was like, shit, how come I don't know how to do that? You know? And then, like, setting a sense of 15 minutes, I feel like is a bare minimum to just be without your phone, or just even to set a timer, use your phone as a timer to start with. That is to acknowledge and appreciate being alone, where it's not a negative connotation, but even positive. And I feel like probably the question posed to me was like, not do you ever feel alone, but do you ever feel lonely? Because that's a feeling that I've actually felt. And lonely is something that is hard, or I feel that negative connotation of frustration. And I mean, like, say, not in this, everything's a relationship, right? And when I think about being lonely or just being alone, I think about a time that hits me, not just all the way further back in the past, but even now, sometimes when I feel it, it's like when there's a lack of accountability in any kind of relationship, where it's like, why am I, and I put this in quotes, fighting for something that I shouldn't even be fighting for? Why do I feel like the ground that we held together is not being kept anymore? And I say this for like a workplace, because like when things are set, and I felt it where like we set the policy or we set the tone, however the things that have been said are not even being followed, it gives me sometimes a sense of feeling like, why am I even here if the things that were said are not being followed? Now it's giving me the sense of urgency of, if I really want to love myself and respect myself and hold to my values and align to my morals, then I have to do the fact of leaving, because that's my ultimate self-respect and kindness. I mean, if I'm going to be the person that's fighting constantly to negotiate a contract or negotiate something, that takes energy. And this energy, should I keep it here or should I seek better? And this also goes into romantic partnership and relationship, because like, if there's just one person that's fighting, there's no reciprocity, there's no mutual fight. Then I'm like, why am I even here if there's a lack of accountability? And that's where that loneliness plays into factor. And yes, I have felt that loneliness. And then when I was also asked with the follow-up of like, you know, you travel alone sometimes a lot. And actually, I've never really felt that much of alone, because in my recent travel, my reaction, or when I stopped and paused to respond to this question, I thought of my travel to Vietnam, and I was like, yeah, I traveled there alone, but I made friends and I saw some mutual connections that I've actually met before previous times. And we're just so connected digitally. Like when I post some imagery or even like some story, someone's like, hey, that's actually my sister that you in a trip with. I'm like, yo, that is just wild how so much connection we are. And I feel like the secret sometimes just like the post of secrecy, or just like posting just feelings, but like not the intention of going to a trip and posting everything, makes it feel a lot more wholesome, of enjoying something and then maybe posting later, or maybe not even posting it at all. Because when I find that trip that I did, or like an internship of the outdoors, such a special moment to just not even have to post anything. And then after a week, seeing my face on my phone, or like even touching my iPhone, and I'm like, wow, it's a touch screen in this glass that I'm looking at. And then I remember just protecting my energy when I really wanted it to be alone. I mean, I had my own hotel room. I remember just like sometimes being overwhelmed and being in a space with so much people, so many people. And then after that trip of a 2-week stay in Vietnam, I remember feeling the need to be by myself, like legit, with nobody that I ever known. So with this 2-week leave, or like leave of absence, and it's connected to Christmas holiday, winter break, I went straight to extend my stay, canceled my flight, went to Thailand, and then just did what I knew, like Muay Thai. I let it out physically. And then I remember just taking my time to lay on the pool and bask in the sun. It's just a beautiful pool with people that I don't even know, taking the classes with Muay Thai. Like, there'll be always people that will show you that support. Going to even Muay Thai gyms or anything that's your hobby, you'll find people that's dope. Like, I feel like going to that space, you don't even have to speak the same language, but your body language knows it and they understand it. If it's the same hobby, even capoeira, I remember I did that before in Japan, and I used this app called Meetup to find it. It's like a little dojo where I went in and we couldn't speak the same language. We couldn't understand each other much, but we were just flowing by our body because we just knew that we were trained and to keep each other safe and feel at home, connected by a hobby. And I feel like that's how my travels are, is that I go to a place, whether it be for work or when it's fun, like even going to Australia for my intention of going to the Asian Hustler Network, and see that I'm going there for a network. And I only knew one person, which was like the head, because the head, the CEO or the creator of the Asian Hustler Network, HAAHN, had this uplifted conference over there in Melbourne. And I was like, shoot, it'd be dope if I got there too, because I won like some tickets to the Vegas conference. And I made my way to Australia too, since it was like, man, spring break, might as well. And to be in that too, sometimes it's just so cool. Like when everything's falling into place, miraculously, it just works out, where like I even had family in the vicinity. So it's nice. I mean, like, to just take that opportunity whenever you have the chance. I mean, I took it. Like, I remember even going to Tulum after, lockdown. And I was like, shit, lockdown, COVID-19, we didn't have nothing. You leave any place, you can't travel. And once I found this ticket, it was during work, but I was like, fuck it. Took this leave of absence and I dipped my way, extended my stay with the dance retreat. It was ultra memorable. I mean, it was pretty expensive, but like a stay to dance, healing somatic work, to just like go taste some food, go to swim in the cenotes that are healing for your skin. All the mosquito bites that I got bit, it like from instant swell to like that mud on my skin from the cenotes just smoothed it out. And then swimming and snorkeling in the Shan Khan, the water was so refreshing, salt water, and then basking in that saltwater sun, seeing like ancient sea turtles gliding through the water, surfacing up and then diving down, even dolphins. Man, laughing with new friends about the smallest things and like the silliest mistakes that, like in a painting, a silly mistake is not even a mistake at all, but a happy accident or something like that. Man, there's no mistakes, just happy accidents. And it just ties in. Like, I'm very happy that I got to sit and just relax at this really intimate bar. And I feel like these thoughts that I didn't really get to process and communicate of all my fun travels, even going to Germany and seeing a new place. Like, I traveled there with no intention. Like, I don't know nobody. I don't know the language. I don't really know what food to eat or how to get by around. But when I just shared it with people before flying in, they were like, yo, remember your homie is out there, blah, blah, blah. And then got connected. I went to, like, Regensburg, saw my middle school classmate and stayed in his home. He housed me. It was amazing. Such a great friends and connections. And I remember going to Frankfurt. I used to work with I met this person in the city at California Academy of Sciences while I was doing brand ambassador work for Local Motion. And then we just had like a good vibe. I remember just telling them like, yo, you should get this. You can get this drink, put it in your car. And then she gave me her keys to her Mercedes. I was like, I'm going to put your truck. It was so fun. And then they were like, oh, I'm actually from Germany. And I'm like, oh, snap. They were like, yo, you should come visit me sometime. And I was like, bet. And I flew. It was so fun. They took me around Frankfurt, took pictures in the bridge. I had a big and tasty burger out there in Frankfurt because they no longer have that in USA. So that was a great nostalgic bite for me. And then I even met my friend from Yelp in Berlin, such a historic place, and of like, even some sad times of like the Holocaust. And also it's just like an exuberant city of clubs and diversity. So it was nice to see also my friend from Berlin and get to walk around. And I feel like different personalities are out there, and I feel it's great to just connect and also push each other's like boundaries and just understand boundaries as in like a communication to just grow. And I feel like all these relationships that I've had has got me to expand my growth, and I'm very thankful to be connected and elevated with all the people that I'm connected with. And it makes me feel like this world is not that big, it's small, and we're all connected in some way. And it's very beneficial to be alone as well as be in community, because we come into this world with our hands closed by yourself, and when we leave with the open hand of thanks and to let go. So with that, I'm just want to close with thank you for listening, and thanks for this blessing. Maybe I didn't really have the answer then, because sometimes just being so present, I'm like, in this bar, in this space where it's just so intimate, I'm like locked into your eyes and gazing at this moment, thinking about this delicious pandan, milk punch in my hand. Just get lost in the moment, get lost in folks' eyes, their stories. And I'm like, sadness? I ain't really having it. I'm on one and I'm enjoying this space with you. So thank you for listening. This is Jerry Don't Play. Continue to self-express and inspire and empower yourself and others. Thank you. Till next time.